This evening we have Anthony Garcia on the piano playing a composition by Chopin, the man, the legend, deceased for about 200 years, but his music still lives on within Anthony's fucking gorgeous manly hands. No homo. No homo. But I wish my hands were that long, because I have really tiny fingers. 5'10". This motherfucker's 5'10", and he plays a really nice melody on the keys. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We're chilling here in Joe's basement. You know, it's fucking Sunday night. It's the 12th of February 2017. I have to add the date so then people know that when this shit was made, because it's like either one person is gonna listen to it, just me, or nobody's gonna listen to it. I don't fucking know, but let's just fucking do this. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Thank you for having me on. It's a very honor to be here tonight.
From now on, I'm only gonna have 2 mics, because the first time it was only 1 mic and everyone just tried to talk into it, so that's why it was a disaster. Mm-hmm. The second one, I told this girl, her name is Caroline, and she came through, and I pretended that it wasn't a podcast, so we could have like this natural flow of conversation. And, but because of doing that, I didn't talk to the mic, so it didn't look like it was a podcast. But we had such an interesting conversation, so that's why I liked it. And this is the third one with Ant. You know, the people were waiting for this.
The people were waiting. People don't even know who the hell I am.
Yeah, I think hell yeah. That's the point. It's like, yeah.
That's why we're to be discovered or to just hear.
Fuck yeah. We got to celebrate the fact that, you know, like nobody knows us, and we could say whatever the fuck we want. So
for tonight's many topics,
yeah.
What do you think should be the first one?
I think.
What do you feel?
I feel that
some priority.
I feel like people are going crazy over the government.
Okay.
But it's a good thing. It's a really good thing, because it's like you guys should have done this a long time ago. But
that's true.
My issue is it's like why all of a sudden now? It's like it's one thing to be against the government, but it's like, is the reason for doing that proper? Are you guys doing it, you know, for a good reason, or are you just being because my feeling is I think people are just angry at the government because it's the thing to do.
Yeah, like it's a trend, almost trendy.
It's trendy. Not that it's like cool, but it's like you're just following the path. It's like you're following what everyone's fucking doing.
Yeah, without questioning or really realizing what they're doing or why they're protesting.
Fuck yeah.
That's
true. So that's the issue. And I'm like it's like, you know, do some research. And the reason I got into this is because I feel like people were being accused of being something they're not, and it's like the media went on a crazy frenzy, and they're just accusing everyone of being a Nazi and this and that. Like I can't trust nobody nowadays. So it's like that's why I just want to say what I feel. Yeah. And nothing that comes from me is like it's factual. None of it's factual. It's just my opinion, and like my opinions have a right to change as the time progresses, because we all change as human beings. Yeah. So that's why it's like every time it's like, this is what I believe now because of the evidence that I have, but I know it's gonna change. And it's like I might be like right now it's like I'll say something controversial that not a lot of people are willing to say, and it's like I'm not gonna hate Trump because I feel like he's doing something, but I don't have the research to back it up. But I feel like he was prosecuted by the media, such as anyone else has, and that's the media's job. It's like they want to make money, so they got to make things controversial and just like kind of twist like elements within within exactly what happened. They represent it in a different manner. Right. So it's like I feel Trump was misunderstood. Yeah, misunderstood. But it's like he's not perfect. I know he's not perfect. It's like I don't want to say like, oh, like go for Trump, but it's like, but let's try to be logical and let's do some research before like accusing people of some shit like that.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of the people's anger and hate has to do with, you know, in this day and age, we are not very tolerant of people that are intolerant of other people. either because of their beliefs, because of their religion, or what have you.
Yeah.
But I think we see it, especially within the younger generations, we see a lot of hostility because the younger generations, I think, are very passionate about those types of things, or being against those types of things. Yeah. And I think with the older generations, people born maybe in the 60s, the 70s, maybe early 80s, depending on the family too that they were raised in.
Yeah.
There's a difference. They are not. I'm not going to say that everybody that wasn't born in the 80s is or was not passionate, but we see that within the older generations, they're very it's just the way that it is. That's just how like how life is. People are going to hate, but I don't see. I see a lot of the more younger generations doing a lot more, getting involved a lot more, either whether it's vocally or whether they're actually out there buying plane tickets and going to these places in protest. This is the way I look at it. I don't care if you're behind a computer, if you're writing a paragraph to somebody, or if you're in person speaking through a megaphone. All those different forms of protesting, of being heard, of trying to inform people, those are all valid. Yeah, so
it is. It's like, so you can't really say anything wrong
so
about
for
that,
the people who say, if you're just behind your computer and that's not going to help. Well, who's to say that you're going to have just as much of an impact going in the street physically with a megaphone and speaking? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just it's very subjective. Yeah. And to invalidate those or say that one is more appropriate or correct or more showing that you're doing more. I mean, I just think that's trying to make it into a competition. Okay. And that's not what it's about in my eyes, personally. Okay. It's not a competition to see who can go and buy the nearest plane ticket to go to Washington in March. Because those things really, it's only relevant for the people who want that for them, And everybody's going to have different ways of making impacts. Yeah. I mean, we see what a tweet can do. And how bad that can go, like what do you call it, like at those soccer games when they go like that. The effect that it has, the effect that it one sentence can have, society. That a celebrity says, and then the whole fucking world can go, batshit crazy over that tweet
or a fucking tweet.
And to me, it shows how influential the human population can be, how easily influenced.
Hey, bro, are you on Twitter?
They can be.
I gotta ask you, man, are you on Twitter?
No, man, I don't tweet. I don't tweet. I Facebook,
You're
but
on Facebook,
I don't tweet.
Because I have you on Facebook.
And even on Facebook, I'm not really. I wouldn't say that I'm always on there. So like I'm always looking at people. I'm always looking at the news feed. Yeah. But I myself I'm not really active in the sense of posting things frequently. I'll post things, but
on the daily, like it's like how many hours you spend on Facebook.
I probably honestly would say that I am on Facebook when I am not doing anything that's important. Yeah. But just observing basically my news feed. That's pretty much. I read articles. Yeah. And just see what people are bullshitting on Facebook, but a lot of the time I'm not really active. Oh, okay. Physically posting.
Yeah, it's like every now and then I know that you will post some like woke shit, and it's good. It's like because it simulates conversation. Within the Facebook community.
And I keep it under radar because a lot of the people that follow me that I have as friends are not really on that level. Yeah. So that's why I think maybe if I had more people, the majority were more woke, as you say, then I think it'd be a little different. But because the majority of the people that follow me they're probably not even aware of half of the shit that that people like you and I know or want to know.
Yeah, people are like they're on different levels and shit.
Yeah, and I think that's something we need to learn how to respect. Even if, as an example, let's look at the conservatives and the liberals. I strongly agree with a lot of democratic views. Yeah, and there's a few things that I can agree with the conservatives on. But when it comes to affiliating with either party, or affiliating with any type of party, I don't agree with that because you lose your sovereignty. I think. Yeah. Because you join a collective, and I'm not saying that that's inherently bad or negative but I just think. You need to do your own thinking. Yeah. It's great to have cliques, groups, things like parties, whatever they are.
Naturally, as human beings, we got.
But as single humans, we need to learn how to think for ourselves, and not be persuaded by other people's perceptions.
It's very ironic because it's like I'll call this cognitive dissonance because it's like on one hand we need each other to survive, but on the other hand you should think independently. But it's like the point it's all about balance, right? So it's like you have to like know exactly where you're gonna keep that balance. When you should give in to like a community's ideas, such as in speaking in English, we have to conform ourselves to speak English so we could communicate because it's like it's the language we know right now, and then the other side of conforming too much, just like we might take ideas that that seem really hostile towards other people, and then it's like we don't really agree with it, but we have to because we're trying to conform to society. So it's just like in that kind of crazy manner.
Yeah, I like how you bring that up too, because it's I think especially here in America, when we have immigrants or refugees come over, we expect them to. It's almost as if, and I'm not saying every American believes this, but it's almost as if the majority of Americans want people to forget or abandon their history and their lineage and their culture.
Yeah.
For the sake of being Americanized.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very interesting view, because it reminds me very much so of the Nazis in terms of what they, the same.
Are you saying we're living in a Nazi kind of?
I'm saying we're living in an Americanized Nazi.
Okay.
And when people hear that word Nazi, they automatically think the Americans are not rounding people up.
Yeah.
And that that's true, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not Nazi-like, because they don't necessarily need to do things physically in the way that the Nazis did. They don't have to gas people. They don't have to lock them up or put them in a restricted area of a city and call it a ghetto. There's ways that they act like Nazis in the sense of what they believe. For example. We Americans have a strong belief that democracy needs to be in other countries. And that same passion that we want for the rest of the world is, I'm pretty sure, the exact same passion that Hitler and his clan desired for the world, to be Nazis, or to have Nazi ideologies. Yeah. And it's poison. It's poisonous to think that everyone needs to have what you have, because your government is only relevant for you.
Yeah.
You dig?
Like, everybody's different.
In the Middle East, obviously, democracy would not work because, one, it's a very alien type of government. Not only that, it's just for them that's just not how they've never operated that way. Yeah. You see what I mean? Yeah. And we need to learn that that's how we need to be. We need to accept cultures and countries for their history, their culture, no matter what they've been through, whether they've been very warrior-like us. Yeah. America could be the first one to raise their hands, and if they want to lie and be in denial and say that we haven't been in so many wars. Well, yeah, I mean, God, we can name so many wars since the beginning of 1776. Yeah. They'll blame it on human nature, but I think that's full of shit. I think that's human arrogance and greed. Yeah. I don't think it's human nature to be like that, because humans are born babies. We're not born adults. We turn into adults, but babies do not have beliefs. Yeah. There's no such thing as a belief for a baby. Because a baby's fucking innocent as fuck. They're the closest. They just grew up. They just got born. And what the fuck is this kind of shit? What kind of shit am I living in? In my eyes, they're the closest thing to God. Yeah. Because they're just so pure. Yeah. And I think on a spiritual note, here's what I heard, that babies, I think you heard this too, where it's like babies see angels and they could see beyond our realm of spectrum, because it's like because their eyes haven't adjusted and blah blah blah, and it's like they could see more shit than we do, because they're fucking babies. They're more sensitive. Yeah. But it's like, but in order to become more human, you have to adapt, and that's why we get rid of make everything specific. Like, that's a bottle, that's a table, and that's a wall, and that's how we become fucking adults and shit. Yeah. Hey, have you ever? Speaking of culture, there's a culture that eats rats. You know that, right? Yeah, I'm actually not surprised. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what specific culture you're talking about, but I am aware. It's an Asian culture. I am aware that there are cultures out there that find that to be appetizing. I saw this documentary on rats, and it's like they're super, like, even rat poison won't kill them, and even it's like there's someone I heard that a rat drank their bleach, and because they made a hole and all the bleach, like it was gone. Yeah, and so it's like the rats eat the bleach and they still don't die. Interesting. That's crazy. Crazy, yeah. So my God. I was like, but it's like people eat rats for that's rats are a delicacy in some countries. Yeah, I actually found out that there's this country, I think it's Thailand, maybe, I'm not too sure. They have insect chips. They're not really chips. They're fried insects in a bag. Okay, yeah. Like Mexicans do that all the time with chupalines. Oh, really? How do you say that? Crickets? Yeah, chupalines. Mm-hmm. Okay. I lost my Spanish, like I'm trying to, like, sometimes some words I know, some words I don't know, so it's like I'm trying to, like, regain my Spanish and shit. That's good. Chapulines, yeah. Chapulines. Yeah. You don't speak Spanish too either, huh? No, I do. Yeah. I don't, how do I say it? It's not that I don't speak it. You rather not? No, I'm not one of those people. When I speak it, I speak it. Yeah. But because the only time I speak it is when I need to, because I talk to my parents in English. Yeah. But I'll talk, like, if someone speaks Spanish and I know they don't speak English. That's the only time I really can't have to speak it, is when person doesn't know the English language.
Okay.
You know, and that's very rare. Most people are, you know it or know enough to get
westernized.
by. Yeah, and well, I wouldn't say westernized, but they know enough to get by.
Yeah.
But the only time I speak it is like if I'm talking to someone who I know doesn't know English.
Yeah.
That's the only time I think I even need to use Spanish language.
You know, it's weird.
But I do watch a lot of Spanish shows.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of Spanish music. But
so like you're aware and just like.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I could hold a conversation in Spanish. I just would have to be talking to someone who only speaks it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it has to be important. It's like, otherwise, I'm not just gonna like walk up to a person that speaks Spanish and just try to start a conversation out of nowhere. It's like, there has to be a reason.
Yeah. There has to be like a good reason to like, speak that.
Either it's
language.
like maybe we got trapped in an elevator. We're gonna be here for like a couple hours, and you have to fucking speak Spanish, or shit like that.
Yeah, but I think it would be like that if I knew Russian or French. If I knew that person could not speak the English language and I could speak their native language, then I don't see why I wouldn't want to speak to them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I just would have to know their language.
It's weird because it's like sometimes when I go to a place and either for shopping for goods such as like merchandise or food, and I see a Mexican lady, I'm like, should I speak to her in English or Spanish? Because it's like because the thing is, I've gotten offended. I've offended the person's state of being because because I started in English or I started in Spanish. So it's like you could offend anybody. So it's like it's like so I had to like eventually choose a language and just say fuck it. Do you speak fucking English? I'm gonna start speaking English, bitch. If you don't speak it, then just tell me.
Yeah.
Because it's like I wanted to be like more open. I wanted people to just talk to me without any like hesitation and shit. But it's like and I tried that by trying to conform to a language or this and that. But it's like in the end I just I had to choose between whether I'm gonna speak English or not.
Yeah.
Or Spanish or not. And right now I'm just gonna take English because it's fucking America. Fucking.
Yeah. Well.
And if they don't speak English and they get offended, just tell me you speak Spanish, and I'll talk to them in Spanish.
I was at the gym like a week ago, and I was talking to a Mexican.
Wait, what gym?
24-hour fitness.
Oh shit, that place is expensive, but they have a lot of nice shit.
And we were in the jacuzzi, and he was saying that he got asked one time why he doesn't speak English, and he says his response was. He only speaks it when he needs to, and it reminded me of when I feel like I need to speak to people in Spanish because they just. But then there's a difference between if you're gonna live in any country, not just in America, wherever country you go to live in or to reside in for a period of time, you want to learn the language enough to know that you can speak to somebody comfortably, and get around comfortably. I don't think anybody's asking people to get a master's degree in English speaking.
Be proper with hella consistent grammar and shit.
But understand, you're in a new country.
Yeah.
And your language is not the national language that's spoken in the cities or in the stores or in the malls or in the banks.
So you're saying if you speak English immediately, then it's like you could change to another language, but if you're doing it in English, you're doing it kind of right.
At home, whatever the hell you speak to your family, to your children, whatever, that's totally fine. Yeah. But when you go to important things like schools, banks, anything that's government property, federal, they're going to speak English, and you need to know the language. Unless you get fortunate enough to go to a place or a bank where they have people who naturally speak your language, which I doubt, because we're not translator centers. Yeah. You're going to need to know enough to get by. At home, whatever the hell you teach your family is, or whatever you speak with them, that's completely fine.
Their business.
But in the business and the industrial areas, when you want things online, everything's going to be in English, so you need to know it.
Yeah, and it's weird, and it's like, like you should, even though the national language of the United States is not English. The United States doesn't have an official language.
It does or does not?
It does not. But the nature is that you have to speak English because we all know this. It's like when you come to America, it has to be English, even though it's not an official language. So like I get that, It's like
go ahead.
Well, I don't really have anything. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I find it a little hard to believe that English can be the natural language or the national.
It's not
when everybody here, there's Mexican Americans, German Americans, Polish Americans, French Americans.
Yeah.
And the list goes on. You have so many different people from different countries, or immigrants from in the past.
Mm-hmm.
That how can you have a national language as English? When people are still coming over here from Israel, from the Middle East, from all over the place, and you want English to be the national language. I mean, I totally agree that it should be a national language out in the world, when you go to car shops, car dealership, places that matter, business, industrial, all the things like that.
It should, because we have to find a common ground.
Yeah, I don't think
something.
Something common.
Otherwise, it'll be like Babylon. You know about Babylon, right?
Yeah.
It's like what happened in
the
Babylon.
Story.
You want to tell it or?
Go ahead. I think you
so
probably know better than I do.
What happened in Babylon is they were building a tower. And what happened is that they all spoke the same language, but God said, nah, fuck that. You're going to speak different languages because I don't want you to build a tower so big that you're going to reach me or some shit, I'm paraphrasing. But the point is that God changed the languages of all these peoples, and they couldn't understand each other. And so therefore the Tower of Babylon never got constructed, period. And that's what happened. So it's but in America, if we want to build that Tower of Babylon, we have to have a common ground with the language. And maybe that language is English. It's not, right now in the system, it's not permanently English, but we have to establish a common ground. So let's all speak English in America. Not be hella racist, as in oh, you don't speak fucking English, you should get the fuck out of here kind of shit. But it's let's that be the common language, and then we'll take it from there and just be peaceful and shit. There's no reason to trip out if someone says Allahu Akbar in a fucking restaurant and shit. You're gonna think he's trying to set a bomb, but he's actually praying to God for his fucking meal. So it's let's be careful and rational. It's a crazy time. We can't all be peaceful because all these weird things going on and the world is changing. But let's slow it down. Just be calm and be cool, collected. I'm here drinking a Bud Light. What are you drinking?
Bud Light Platinum.
Oh shit, we have the same beer. That's crazy. We're in half an hour. What the fuck else are we going to talk about?
Well,
what you got? Wait. You got something, because the reason I invited you is, it's this metaphysical shit. I knew it had to get there. So it's okay, how about this?
My expertise.
Yes, your expertise.
Metaphysics.
So it's who have you lately talked to? Because I know you had some video chats with people that channel. So wait. Let me start there. So, explain to the people about channeling. What is that all about?
Okay. Channeling is well,
it's fucking
very
crazy.
briefly.
Nobody's gonna believe it if you don't even have the fucking audacity to just be open minded. But then just
right.
Yeah.
Channeling is the act of. Well, I guess it just depends, because there's types of channeling, but yet everyone does it in their own way. Channeling, in essence, is letting go of your own personal beliefs and allowing the etheric energy or specific energies to come through you and to channel through you. That can come in the form of ideas, thoughts that weren't yours.
Yeah.
Trans-channeling, from what I've heard, it's where you're completely non-conscious and you're not aware.
Yeah.
But you're allowing energy to come through you, specific energies.
Yeah. That
can take on specific people or beings, races.
Yeah.
And they can convey information.
Yeah.
Energetically.
And back then they were called shamans, for instance, right?
Right.
It's it goes back to the history of humanity.
Yeah. Channeling is not really anything new. It's I guess you could say it's newly discovered.
Yeah, in the Western world.
In the Western world.
Yeah.
But channeling is something that I think is it's very indigenous. Meaning only indigenous tribes are the ones who actively practice channeling.
Yeah.
And that's why I think they stay away from the modern world, of the modern societies. But yeah, channeling is just that. You just channel energy through you, and you learn how to do it in a way where you can contact. It's like a phone call. You go into a meditative state, and you, depending on the number you dial out, In this case, the frequency is the analogy that you send out.
Yeah.
You'll get back.
Yeah.
So, it just depends. It can be a guide, you channel your spirit guide. It can be a past loved one. It really just depends on how you identify that energy that's coming through you.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's like a bond you have to work with.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That you identify.
And let me say this in terms of like consideration, as in like none of what we're saying is only our opinion and true to ourselves. If you find this interesting and you want to look into it, then look fucking into it. And if you think we're talking horseshit, then just fucking cancel and just like go to another fucking video, because this is gonna be on YouTube, okay? And that's it. And that's all I gotta say. But it's like but in terms of, okay, so we're gonna go back and we're drinking, we're chilling, we're good. Cheers to the homie. Yeah, thank you, because it's like I wanted somebody to explain channeling to like people and shit. But it's like there's some videos on YouTube. You could go look those YouTube videos up on channeling. So just Google channeling.
I would recommend, by the way, giving a shout out to Rob Gauthier. Mm-hmm. He is a man from Michigan. Very, very smart man, a very educated man in the field that he's in. Okay. I'm pretty sure he's probably hella educated in a hell of a lot of other things. Mm-hmm. But someone that I've personally spoken with, and the being he channels also. Yeah. And I'm not going to spill all the details. If you're really that interested in hearing more about these people, I strongly suggest you go and look them up on YouTube. TREB channeling, that's TREB. TREB? Yeah, and then channeling. And then you'll see a whole bunch of videos, and the name of the channel video is the ET Whisperer. And I'll repeat that again. It's the ET Whisperer. The ET Whisperer. Okay. And a space in between each word. Yeah. So you guys better look that shit up. Yeah. There actually is a video on his channel of me, and it's a very old video from maybe about 3 years ago, and it says TREB talks to Anthony, and that is my video, by the way. That is a 17-year-old me in that video. Wait, how old are you now, man? I'm 22 now.
You're fucking 22? Yeah. Holy shit.
And the first time I discovered channeling was around the time that I turned 17. Yeah, so I was very young, and from what I've heard in the channeling community, I've heard that that's very rare for young people to be. It's weird, but it's a very, if you go into the channeling community, not to say that you won't find young people, but a lot of the people that are there are very older. Yeah. In age, compared to me at least. Yeah. But none of that really matters either. But you'll just see that there's not a lot of youth, at least from my own personal observation. There should be, though. It's like there should be. How about this? It's like if you're youth listening, then and you know about things of this nature, because everybody knows, even Elon fucking Musk, who's at the top of the game right now. He's a fucking billionaire, and he's got Tesla. He used to own PayPal. Even he fucking knows where the fuck humanity is going. So it's like just look inwards and know what the fuck. Just know yourself, and then you could change the world. Biggie fucking Smalls said that, right? Yep. How did he say it? Oh, I don't know. You can't. Well, I just remember it's like Biggie said, "You can't change the world unless you change yourself." So fuck you, bitches. And so yeah, it's like were you? Can you talk about the video or like shit? Or some of the stuff I have talked about. Yeah. With these beings. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I've asked about the first race that ever inhabited the Earth. Mm-hmm. How long ago that was. And, I think Earth history is very important. Yeah. To sum up briefly, the average human believes that before 10, 15,000 years ago, there really wasn't anything aside from like the early primate. Yeah. But that may be true for our race, but you got to understand there's billions of years of history that are unaccounted for and not documented. Okay. Yeah, and they try to debate what that is. And they try to say that the Earth stayed dead basically up until a few million years ago when the dinosaurs, a few million in the sense of like 500, 900 million years ago. But honestly, I strongly believe that there's a lot more history before those dinosaurs, before us. There has to be. Yeah, there has to be. I don't believe that we're the only life in this galaxy. Yeah. I don't know. It's arrogant to believe that we're the only rock in the infinity of space that has life. Fuck yeah. Yeah, because it's like, well, how did we get here? Mm-hmm. I understand the religious because I was a Catholic for like 8-9 years. Mm-hmm. So I understand the importance that we place on a human and what they can do. But I do not think a brain, a human brain or any brain, I don't think any brain is possible to create the infinity that this universe offers. One human brain, which is how religious people are portrayed, religious idols.
Yeah.
A human brain is not capable of that. I'm sorry.
Well,
it defies the intelligence of a man or a human or a sentient being.
Yeah, and here's what I'll say about that. Isn't I was raised Catholic, and when I grew up, I was told that God was this being in the heavens, and it's funny because it's like so we took that information and we just assumed that God was something separate from us. And that's what I believed in, because that's the way it was interpreted to us, as in like God is this perfect being and we are somehow sinful. Well, here's the thing. So yeah, in the Catholic religion, we're brought up a certain way. So we're brought up as in like, yeah, we're sinful and God is perfect and we have to work on ourselves so we could be more towards him and then eventually go to heaven. And what bothered me as a kid when I was in the 9th grade was that the fact that you either went to heaven or hell.
Yeah.
And that bothered me the most because it's like
so limiting.
Exactly. And
so limiting of a belief.
Because it's so limiting that it doesn't matter where I went. It would like even if I went to heaven, it was gonna be hell because it was like millions and trillions and billions of years. So it's like
eternity from what we're told.
And it's like like people understand the concept of eternity. Once you grasp that concept, it's like it doesn't make sense to just be in heaven and just be
or in hell for eternity, one or the other.
Oh fuck yeah, and it doesn't matter. So it's like. So then that's like in high school I went through a kind of depression because it's like just thinking about that, it's like that doesn't make any sense. But I'm a changed person now. And then so then what about you then?
Fuck, we should have.
We
should have went to the movies. Fuck.
What?
This movie. There was this movie that I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
We should. But
why'd you put it?
No, there was this movie that I wanted to watch that came out like a week ago at the drive-ins. I just thought I'd do that.
All right, folks, we got to wrap it up because I'm kidding. But
no, you have a very strong points.
Wait, hold up. Why does your shirt say Dignity Memorial?
Because it's the company that I work for, Dignity.
Callaway
is, I guess, the brand of the sweater.
Yeah.
But Dignity is the company that I work for.
Okay.
Does it sound like a cool logo though?
Yeah, it's a pretty sick logo. It's like you have to understand that the kind of lettering that they use, the font.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice. It's pretty fucking sick.
It's well balanced.
Hell yeah.
But no, you're right. When you bring up very strong points when it comes to what you were speaking about. The thing that I think is very interesting is how someone could believe that there's only two choices.
Hell yeah. Wait. Let's continue on this for 10 minutes more. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So then, how so?
I think it's a little weird how people can literally believe that.
What? Say it. Say it. Say it. You gotta say it. You gotta say it.
How they can believe that one or two people can do all that.
What do you mean by that? What the hell?
It mind boggles my mind. It mind fucks me because it's just to put your that much faith in a man, or several beings.
It's weird, huh?
I just think I honestly think God is a force that is within all things and everything, and there's no shortage of it. Yeah. He's in the good. Not he because he's not a person.
Yeah.
But I think God is a force. It's a thing that's in everything and all things.
Yeah. So it's like it's not separate from us.
No, I don't think it is. Like, I don't think it can be because if it was, how would it know itself?
And it's weird. It's like when I grew up with the Catholic religion, they try to separate it, and it's weird. That's how they teach you.
Yeah,
that it's separate.
No,
it's not.
Let me see if I can try to connect these dots.
Okay.
It's interesting because we have Mormons, We have Baptists, we have Christians, we have Catholics,
Yeah.
a plethora of others who believe in the same God.
Yeah.
You know, and they all claim to read out of the same book, which
Yeah.
they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they all come up with different answers and interpretations
Yeah.
to what that book is saying.
Mm.
And if that only shows one thing, that everyone who reads that book is going to experience it differently.
Yeah.
And they're going to get something different out of it.
Yeah.
But if it was, you know, me and you look up the word plutocracy in the dictionary.
Yeah.
Although you and I will read it from two different dictionaries, the point of the word plutocracy is going to be in those words. The words that are going to come in that definition are going to be similar.
Yeah. Similar but not exact.
Yeah. And the same applies to people who read out of a book, the same book, yet
Yeah.
they come up with different answers. But that's where I think the biggest question lies, is if you guys all claim to be the same or to follow the same person,
Yeah.
why is it that none of you can agree on the same things? You're all reading out of the same book.
Yeah.
You know, two lawyers from California who study law, California law.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to come out and read the same law and have two different interpretations. There's just one meaning.
Yeah. There has to be one meaning.
You know what I mean?
Especially
so
in law.
I think that's a big, question mark that people can look at to prove to themselves, you know, hey, is this really right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, they all claim to read out of the same book, but again, they're all the pastors, the priests are interpreting the verses very different from one another.
Yeah.
And yet they'll slap and put stamp and stamp truth on it to the congregation and the people that are listening to them.
Yeah. And it's weird because it's like...
it's like, well, hold up. What if you go to a pastor and you ask him one question,
Yeah.
and you give him a verse from the Bible, and he answers it, and you go to a Catholic priest and a Christian pastor or a Baptist, and they come up with three separate answers, yet you asked them the exact same words, you worded it all the same.
Yeah.
It's not, and we know God ain't speaking to them as much as they want to claim that he is. Because if he was, those three, the pastor, the priest, and the Baptist priest, they'd all get together and they'd all agree, and that every word that would come out of their mouth would be the same. But it's not.
Yeah.
And, you know, they keep saying, you know, well, we all have this individual relationship to God. Well, why is your God telling you one thing, and why is that God telling him another thing when you guys are reading the exact same verse?
Son of a bitch.
What is it? Is it the interpretations that are going wrong? Or?
Are you saying that happens even within the same religion?
Yeah.
As in, like,
Here's the thing.
One Catholic church from another Catholic church.
Yes.
For real?
Yeah, and this is how you can prove it. Not necessarily using Catholicism as the example. Let's use Christianity.
Okay, yeah.
Because the Christians are very good with this. They're very good with their hypocrisy. One Christian church will say that they're against gays because God doesn't like it. Yeah, you'll get another Christian church who has the fucking rainbow flag right outside their goddamn church and says God supports and loves gays.
It's weird, huh? Yeah.
Yet they're both Christians, or they claim. That's what they claim. Well, it's like, okay, well, why do you have different supporting beliefs? Why is one okay with being gay and the other one is not? Yeah. Why is one member from a Christian church okay with gay members? Yet you go to a completely different church and everybody's against gays. Yet they claim to be Christian. What the fuck is going on?
Some nutty ass world, man.
Why is there contradicting beliefs from one church to the next? Yet they're reading out of the same book.
It's fucking crazy ass world.
It's honestly the interpretations that they're reading. That's how you know it's what they personally believe. Yeah. And they're saying that's what God believes, but it's really what they personally believe. Yeah. And they're using God as that stamp to say this is not what I believe in. This is what God says it's in the Bible. Like, tell that to that fucking Christian church right down the street that justifies being gay. You guys can go and be beautiful together and argue with your God because he's, either God is telling two of those pastors two different things, or those two pastors are fucking coming up with shit out of their ass, which is why they're not agreeing. So what is it? Why is God misleading one pastor and you know what I mean? Yeah. Those things like that should be proof in my eyes, in my opinion.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It's a crazy ass fucking world, man. It's like everyone's trying to prove that they're right, but it's like, fuck, man. It's like, chill.
See, and that's a problem too.
Chill the fuck out. It's
not a competition about who's right or who's wrong. Yeah. Because for the rest of our lives, for the rest of history, we will always have different beliefs as cultures, as people. We will not always agree. And I think that's one thing about the human race that makes us beautiful. We do not need to agree with one another.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing I think the liberals need to realize, and I'm not a conservative, let me put that out there now, but I can see a liberal for who they are, and I can see a conservative for who they are. And by the way, I'm not libertarian either.
They want to put you in a fucking box.
In a category.
That's what they want to do,
people
man.
want to put people in categories, and like, no, what the fuck do you get out of putting someone as a libtard or a conservative prick? Because I've heard people call conservatives that's conservative pricks.
Yeah.
But liberals need to understand people are not, for whatever reasons of their own, they're not going to be for immigrants. They're not going to be for refugees or in support of those people, no matter what they're going through. You can try to analyze all you want that they're heartless, they're careless, they don't care unless it's happening to them. Yeah. You know, and you may be right. But you need to learn that that's just how people are going to be wired in terms of their thought process. They're just not going to care for the well-being of others. And we need to learn that we cannot be dictators of people and change people. We can hate them, even though that's not going to solve anything. We can be intolerant. We can be mad. We can throw tantrums. And this goes for the conservatives too, with liberals, because there's hate from both sides. Yeah. There's an equal immaturity on both sides. Yeah. Libtard. I don't know what it is with conservatives calling liberals libtards. I don't know what that makes. That must make them feel. That must make them feel very educated or smart. And the same thing with liberals who call conservatives derogatory names. This this immature name calling is not going to get anybody anywhere. What we need to do, we need to grow the fuck up. Yeah. As men and women. Yes. As individuals, as humans. Okay. And we totally need to just realize that there is going to be differences. Yeah. There will always be differences. Mm-hmm. But that's where we shouldn't focus so much on them. We need to focus on the areas where we're alike. Yeah. But how can we do that when liberals are very humanitarian, compassionate?
And here's what I'll say, like libertarians. No,
liberals or libertarians?
The left side.
Okay, the left.
Yeah, the left side. The practice it's really mother-like. Nurturing. As in nurturing. They care. Yeah. But it's unbalanced. It's mother-like, but it's like it's gone to shit because they just like they don't give a fuck about anything. They just want to nurture things. But you have to realize. It's not just about the female energy. It's about the male energy. There has to be a fucking balance.
And that's what I think.
And that's it.
I honestly think that's what this particular government system that America follows represents on a spiritual level. Mm-hmm. The masculine and the feminine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The masculine and the feminine. And I think that's like a yin and yang. Yeah. I think that's essentially what yin and yang in ancient Chinese tradition meant. It was the feminine and the masculine. You know, that there's an in and out. You know, and something that I think is very important for humans to understand is that all humans have both. There is no man that doesn't have a percentage of estrogen in them, and there's no woman that does not have a percentage of testosterone in them. Yeah. We all have different levels of both.
Here's what I'll say. Sometimes I wear pink socks because they're fucking cool.
That's not due to your...
Pink is not fucking for women.
Right, but that's not due to your estrogen levels.
Exactly. Because I think pink is a fucking cool ass fucking color, and if I want to wear them in my fucking feet, then I will. Yeah. So shut the fuck up. It's like if I wear fucking pink in my socks, you can't fucking say, oh, he's fucking gay and shit. You know, like it's fucking sick as fuck. You know, you gotta like embrace it. Embrace all kinds of like other kinds of perspectives and shit. You know.
Be open.
Fuck
respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's one thing I think the human race really needs. And beginning with myself, I'm not going to act like I'm not guilty of it because there's a lot of times I hear things that I don't like. And I become very intolerant very quickly.
Like what?
Well, I'm very stern as a person, so when I start hearing things that I don't like or that are against my beliefs, that sternness comes out. That you will not like. I don't want to hear that.
Sometimes you got to turn up, you know.
Yeah. But then I also feel very Hitlerish and Stalinish when I do shit. Yeah, like
so it's like there's two sides of the coin.
You know, you don't want to be intolerant, but then there's just things you hear and you're like, I don't want to hear this.
Okay, so like I have to wrap this up and. We're gonna do a second podcast. Okay. All right, take care.
This is just a test practice.
Fuck yeah! Thank you.